The city of Los Angeles can be broken up into three distinct groups: the Valley, Central Los Angeles, and the Harbor region. Each region has its own unique feel, but today we'll be talking about the Valley. You're probably familiar with it as a backdrop for many 80s films. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Karate Kid, Boogie Nights,
One, two, three. You didn't say anything. Oh, neither did you.
E.T., and many others.
The world, but this light.
What you may not know is that it's actually the majority of Los Angeles. A typical response from someone who lives over the hill, even if someone is from Santa Monica or any of the other cities that reside west of the 405 but are not a part of the city, is something along the lines of,
Ugh, the Valley's always so hot and out of the way.
or perhaps,
Wait, no, that's its own thing.
and then they'll ignorantly state that neighborhoods within the Valley are their own respective cities. This is not the case. But can you blame them? What's the saying? Out of sight, out of mind? And considering there's a giant fucking mountain between the Valley and the rest of the city, I think this rings true. In my opinion, the Valley currently has an identity crisis. It's getting more and more overpopulated with very minimal development, with Porter Ranch being the only neighborhood really seeing an influx of homes. Now, there are currently developments in the works in Woodland Hills, specifically the Warner Center and the stadium being built there. Perhaps once this occurs, we can recognize there are too many sports teams in Los Angeles, and this will solidify a split from the city. Now, in 2002 it was voted on whether or not to make the Valley its own city.
Not to be confused with the current city of San Fernando, which resides within the San Fernando Valley, but is only a tiny fraction of the whole valley.
Back in November of 2002, Measure F called for the creation of a San Fernando Valley city. Other names proposed were Rancho San Fernando, Mission Valley, Valley City, and Camelot. The city would be fully separate and independent of Los Angeles, and it came to a citywide vote. A slim majority, but over half, of Valley voters actually approved the measure, but the rest of the city rejected the measure by a 2-to-1 margin. So what benefits does the city see from keeping the Valley? For one, more tax revenue. Yet it seems like the city programs and services are not distributed fairly, in my opinion. For one, the Red Line, now known as the B Line, only has 2 stops in the Valley, and they're both on the southeastern side of the Valley. I feel as though the Valley gets the worst of both worlds. It has a lot of high crime, just like the rest of Los Angeles, yet it doesn't have any benefits that a suburb would generally get. Sure, there's slightly less traffic and the roads are slightly clearer, but it's a day and night difference between here and Santa Clarita. But I think with an identity change, the Valley could become something great.